I would like to shoehorn this in here, and I want to say it here and now that if we have anxiety, I think it comes from a lot of criteria. The most common now, of course, is trauma, but also social peerage. Why do I
Yeah.
say that? You know, if you come from a middle in class, a middle class household, and you've had a friend who has a higher class or upper middle class upbringing, there's sort of that expectation: are you going to rise to my level, or are you going to come down to my level? That's what I
Right.
mean by social peerage. It's the same like if you offered a cigarette for the very first time. Are you going to take that first drag?
Yeah,
It's that class of nonsense.
that's right.
And you know what? There's no shame in that. It's a lifelong condition. It's a
Hmm.
condition. And especially, I'd like to think with HSPs, people who are empaths, and there's another point I'll get to that goes hand in hand with that. So just give me a moment.
Hmm.
HSPs, empaths, trauma survivors, all are naturally sensitive. And then creatives, bringing the second point in, because we think right brained. Now, you can see me from a computer screen, so it looks like I'm pointing to my left, but I'm pointing to my right.
Hmm.
Your right brain is consistently in overdrive, which overrides the left brain algorithm, which is your
Hmm.
analytical side, which,
Hmm.
as a lady, you should actually have more of because
Right.
women are naturally more analytical. But
Hmm.
by contrast, if you are more right brained, your emotions take over more into overdrive,
Right.
and that makes you more naturally sensitive. It should actually be seen as a gift, dare I say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, and the other thing I struggled with, which I did not realize until about a year ago, was that I've had ADHD my whole life. And that would manifest in ways not as hyperactivity externally, but hyperactivity still to this day in my brain. And everybody says, oh, I've got so much going on in my brain. This is really like a different level of chatter, a different level, and it fluctuates throughout a month, throughout depending where I am. If I'm overstimulated in my surroundings, or if it's like really loud or really bright, I find it very hard to stay grounded and stay centered in my body. And when I was a child, what that would look like is like every Christmas, for example, I would get so excited and so overwrought, much like most children. And I would get so excited. And we would go to my grandparents' house, and they had a huge log house, and there was like 20 something grandchildren. And we would go there, and I would end up being upstairs, sleeping and sick to my stomach, puking, like just so overwrought by that day, right? And this happened not just once, this happened multiple times. But I never, so one of the symptoms of my anxiety and my ADHD is my stomach will get a little bit upset, or and it doesn't always turn into me being sick, like, puking, but it can be me just feeling uneasy or a little bit queasy. I also get migraines, things like that.
Mm,
So trying to manage that when you don't know what that is, or you don't have the emotional awareness or intelligence to, you're a child, right?
right.
But you try to manage it and you try to soothe yourself, which later in life, that self-soothing, because I still didn't realize that's what I was struggling with, which then turned into me turning to alcohol and to drugs and things like that,
Mm,
because that would
mm.
quiet down. Those things would quiet all the noise in my head and just allow me to function at a baseline.